So our new Instagram series is called Legacies from the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's a translation of the book Wasaya al-Rasul, as I mentioned earlier. This book is compiled by Hamza Ajaj. It's a book of hadith and translated by our very own instructor at the Sila Initiative, Ustada Salma Badr Duja. The book is really beautiful, and subhanAllah, I think it's really useful also to know about the man who compiled the book. Beautiful, subhanAllah, to hear about Sidi Hamza, the way he was. They told me he was of Ahl al-Makkah. He was born and raised in Makkah, but he had a very special attachment to the city of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had a very special attachment to Madinah. And when they told me when he would travel, for example, if he ever had to travel to Europe, and he'd look up and he'd see a cloud, he would call out to the cloud in the sky. He would say, "Ya Halima, ruhi ila Madinah." Oh Halima, he would call the cloud by a name. He'd call the cloud Halima. He said, "Go to Madinah," meaning go there and water its, give the people there shade and water, out of his love for Madinah. Means he's so far away from the place of the Prophet ﷺ, but his heart is attached. He wants all the good for that place. They also told me this amazing story about how he actually owned a home in a date orchard in Medina. His orchard actually was an orchard for ajwa dates. This is the type of date the Prophet ﷺ has told us that has shifa in it. It has curative properties. So the date orchard was supposed to be producing ajwa dates, but every year, the palm trees would grow and they would, and they were fine, but they wouldn't produce any dates. And he was getting really frustrated. So he went to finally, year after year, he's getting frustrated with the lack of production of the dates, no dates coming. So he got, one year he just got really frustrated. And he went into the orchard, he got onto the ground. If you've ever been to it, in a date orchard, the ground is quite rough. They have to make these channels within the dirt and the soil for the water to flow in certain ways so it gets to all the roots, and it's not like some pretty field of grass. So he gets down into the dirt on the ground of the date orchard, and he bends all the way down, putting his face, you could imagine, almost like he's like going towards sajda, he leans into the ground and he puts his hand onto the ground and he said, "Listen, if you don't produce some good dates for me, I am going to go and complain to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam." And he basically threatened the land to get into shape and do what you got to do, right? And then my friends told me, subhanallah, the year after that, or that same year, the next season, that orchard produced the best ajwa dates in all of Medina, and it continued to do so after that, subhanallah.